Tokyo Revengers has made a false impression among audiences viewing the series as overhyped and how nobody wants to feel annoyed spending their time around the main character, the crybaby hero. But even though many others can dislike Takemichi and a few can tolerate him, the story that revolves around him does offer a lot to the table. Sure, it has its moments that not everyone finds appealing or satisfying, but I don't think those flaws should define the series as a whole. As the point of this video, regardless of my rambling about anime, I want to talk about my favorite key features of Tokyo Revengers that make it unique to me. Now keep in mind, if you don't know the drill by now, there will be spoilers that will go over season 1, so if you haven't watched season 1 or planning to, then I'll see you later. Let's be clear about something. Ever since the Tokyo Revengers anime adaptation aired, I was aware of its existence but never really had an interest in watching it. I mentioned this in one of my videos last year, and to briefly explain, I got into the series because of my cousin and the band that performed the opening songs. Because of that, it got me into watching the anime, and as a result, Tokyo Revengers ended up being one of my favorite series. The concept of the story where the main character is given a second chance by redeeming his worthless self and turning his character development into something useful. Or at least he's trying to be useful. Don't get me wrong, Takemichi isn't bad, but he's not perfect. Regardless of his personality, his past actions are what made him the person he is today in the first place. He initially was all talk, no bark, and the lines of how he was considered as one of the strongest, and because of the misguided belief, he was immediately shut down. With this giving him a reality check, he ended up with low self-esteem and eventually cowering into fear. That incident destroyed his confidence to the point where he's fearful whether you're old or young. He moved away from his friends and even broke off with his girlfriend, Hinata, who ends up getting game overed along with her brother, resulting in this lonely spot. And in a way, instead of standing up to his problems, he runs away, and that forever will define who he is now. He became pathetic and lived a life of fragility. No confidence, no courage, and no self-respect in the way people treat him. It's pretty much sad to see how low he has become, and maybe there's no fixing that. Unless...
You should kill yourself now!
Whoa, 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 easy there. We do not condone that behavior here. Oh boy. Well, I guess that's the end of this video. Relax, relax, he's fine. He's right here. Wait, why is your hair yellow? We are back in the past. As an incident occurs, Takemichi getting run over by a train somehow causes him to return to the past, and it gives him a moment to relive those times of nostalgia and hardships. Long story short, after reliving those bad memories, Takemichi makes a change for once as he doesn't want to make the same mistake again, and with this second chance at redemption, he changes his way. With this new change, the story unfolds, leading him to meet new people in his life, such as Mikey and Draken. Mikey and Draken eventually befriend Takemichi, but it doesn't affect his future that much as their meeting is fresh. However, one significant change that did affect the future was when Takemichi talked to Hinata, the ex-girlfriend I mentioned earlier. She reminds him of how much he used to love her and what made her special to him, and because of the person he became, he felt undeserving of being with her. With the talk of Hinata's brother, Naoto, he leaves him off with a speech by giving him the word of wisdom, and bar for bar, word for word, the speech that Takemichi gives is, with great power comes great responsibility. Takemichi tells Naoto to protect his sister no matter what, and with the power of his word of wisdom and the cleanest dab up of the century, Takemichi wakes up back to the present. It might have seemed like his reliving the past was all a dream, and it seemed like nothing happened at all. But until...
誰？立花直人です。
As I stated earlier, Hinata died along with her brother, Naoto, and to see that Naoto is alive in the present leaves confusion for Takemichi. However, Takemichi isn't the only one who's aware, as Naoto also realizes he has died before, but instead, after Takemichi's tampering in the past, it saves Naoto's life and allowed him to be fully aware of his previous fate. This creates the idea and theory that Takemichi can time travel, and Naoto is the gateway to travel around time. With this information, Naoto's new life resulted in him being a detective, and with the motive of avenging his sister's death, the goal that's been offered to the table is to save Hinata's life by changing back to the past. This is up to Takemichi whether or not he's determined to save her, or is he willing to go through with this. But with what has happened to the people he cared about, he's driven to go back in time to save everyone, including the person that he loved the most. And so, this is where the story is driven. Takemichi has to redeem himself by becoming a courageous person and at the same time on the mission to save everybody's future from potential threats that stand in his way. This is what made Tokyo Revengers my top favorite. I'm not in it for the main character, but for the concept that Takemichi has to go through. This personally hits me deeply, as it made me envious in a way that he has this kind of ability to make things right. I mean, of course, this is unrealistic, but just something that I can relate to in a way. But speaking about unrealism, I didn't think that the majority of the characters are all from middle school, and these children are all gang affiliated. That's insane. They mostly focus on the gang aspect rather than them being in school, which ideally you would consider gang members as adults, or at least that's what I think. They look so mature for their age. Alright, cut. Wait, hold on. That's not what I meant. I'm aware that the whole time travel shenanigans can be kind of confusing to get a hold of, but I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for time travel. This part is going to be irrelevant, but if I had any superpower, I would want time abilities, cause, you know, just in time. And with this whole plot surrounding time travel, I guess I'm biased. Because Tokyo Revengers is one of my favorites, I do have favorable moments and highlights from the series. One thing I want to state is that Chifuyu is the best character. He's that one homie that you want to have in your life, and let alone he's just chill like that. Okay, enough of the massive glaze. Tokyo Revengers had pretty entertaining fights, and if I had to choose a favorite battle in season 1, it would be the Toman vs Mobius battle. It was cool to see almost all of the Toman members join in the fight and just fight against Mobius. This fleshes out how Tokyo Revengers runs with the story, and because it's all gang affiliated, of course there's gonna be oppositions against each other, leading to gang wars. That's one of the main premises that defines the vibe of Tokyo Revengers. The battles and fights all tie in with the story as they develop and move forward with the plot. This aspect of the series is something I enjoy. The tea, the drama, and the lore that surrounds these eventful fights is what gets me hyped up. The relationship between the concept of the story and how these events are played out definitely got me invested. One key moment that got me way deep into the series was the final moment of season 1. Damn. They doing my homie wrong. He got beat up for the sake of his captain, and now this? Bro got done dirty. But at least he's not useless, you know? The fact that the season ended with a cliffhanger got me wanting to watch more. I couldn't believe that the season just ended with a tragedy. The final episode also revealed that the next fixation on the past didn't work out, as the outcome of the future changed for the worse. Moments like that are what make the plot stretch out when Takemichi has to go back in time to fix the problem and then return to the present just for it to be problematically different. And to be honest, I don't care if it gets repetitive like that. At least it's an excuse to meet more characters that deserves a chance to shine. Though I only mentioned a few highlights of the series, the first season was something that I just had to watch for myself and see if I messed with it or not. I get it, it might be confusing and contradictory when it comes to the time traveling shenanigans, but you know, not every series will ever be perfect, and of course there will always be plot holes or some type of mistakes of its own. It's not about the bad aspects that I want to focus on. The concept keeps key moments, and even the dynamic of the story are what got me interested and invested. In my opinion, I feel like those features are valuable when it comes to finding your favorite show. But that's just me though. I recommend this show to anyone who enjoys stories like Tokyo Revengers. The way that the story is driven in the series is entertaining. The drama that plays out among the characters can define what Tokyo Revengers is all about. And even if you despise the show, I also recommend it to you. Hell, you can watch it throughout the season and make fun of it. I don't care. Some of the characters lack personality, and of course, it's already ridiculous as is that these middle schoolers are all in a gang. The idea of that is stupidly goofy. I also make fun of how goofy the animation can be, so honestly, for the haters and lovers, you get the best of both worlds. You can like the series for the storyline and the tea, and you can also dislike the series for the lack of quality. If these things don't apply to you like how they apply to me, comment down below your thoughts about Tokyo Revengers. I enjoy looking at a different perspective from y'all. A story like Tokyo Revengers is unique and the judgment upon the series is equally justifiable. It does deserve the love and hate, but I don't think they should outweigh each other. It's fairly balanced, but overall, it's always up to you to decide that for yourself. I just yap to yap honestly about it, and that's all I'm here for. Anyway, that's all I have for today's video. I went over the generality of my season 1 experience with Tokyo Revengers, and it's honestly just the beginning. However, season 2 got me more invested, and I do have a lot to talk about for the second season since it's my favorite season / arc by far, so stay tuned for that when the video comes out. If you made it this far into the video, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like on this video. And if you're interested in the type of content I make that relates to anime, subscribe to the channel for more. I'm trying to post more and improve on the consistency, but for now, that's a wrap for today. Anyway, have a good day, good night, good luck on whatever task you have left, and enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.